The Byrnes were originally from County Kildare. Sometime in the 12th century, they were driven east by the Anglo-Normans and settled in the Wicklow Mountains just south of Dublin. The Byrne name is one of the most common names in Ireland, particularly in County Wicklow and in the Dublin area. My dad's great-grandfather, Peter Christopher Byrne, like so many others, left Ireland for America in 1850 during the Potato Famine. My dad's grandfather, Christopher Charles Byrne, worked on the Southern Pacific Railroad and along with other family members, made his way to Los Angeles in the late 1800s. In Los Angeles, many of the Byrnes continued to work on the railroad, while others gravitated toward law enforcement-related professions, as many Irishmen around the country did at the time. They became parole officers, court clerks, bailiffs, lawyers, you name it. My dad's father, Christopher Richard Byrne, was born in Los Angeles in 1904, about a mile from where we are right now. Pretty cool to imagine what it would have been like growing up in Los Angeles in the early 1900s. My dad's father made ends meet during the Great Depression and became a parole officer, eventually being appointed to the board of the California Youth Authority.
Several of the Byrnes became judges. The first was William Matthew Byrne, Bill Byrne. He started as a railroad man, a union leader, then a politician, and finally a federal judge. Bill was president of This Friendly Sons in 1953 and received the Medallion of Merit Award in 1970. Bill's son was William Matthew Byrne Jr., Matt Byrne, also a federal judge, also president of This Friendly Sons, the Speaker in 1995, and the Medallion of Merit awardee in 1998. Bill's brother James T. Byrne was a municipal court commissioner, and Jim's son J. Michael Byrne, Mike, was a Superior Court judge in Los Angeles and now sits by designation in Napa County. The cousin, William E. Byrne, Placerville Bill we call him, was a Superior Court judge up north in El Dorado County. And of course, my dad, Richard P. Byrne, Skip, was a Superior Court judge in Los Angeles County.
Early on, my father had an interest in politics. At John Marshall High School in Los Feliz, he served as senior class president. At UCLA, he became more active and held various student offices. He was elected student body president in 1954. It was a tumultuous time with lively debates around McCarthyism, and the Supreme Court's decision in Brown versus Board of Education had come down that same year. In March 1955, my father broke a tie in favor of a resolution that challenged discriminatory clauses affecting student life at UCLA. In 1953, while at UCLA, my dad went to India as part of Project India. India had gained its independence only 5 years earlier, in 1948, and it was thought that it was at risk of becoming communist. My dad was one of 12 UCLA student ambassadors and 2 advisors who traveled throughout India for 2 months, speaking to students and community groups about American life and values. Virtually no one they met had ever seen an American before. It was a wonderful adventure and a life-changing experience that concluded with a private meeting with Prime Minister Nehru himself. Project India continued for 16 more years with State Department sponsorship, and it was considered a great success. It was thought to be the inspiration for the Peace Corps.
After graduation, my dad attended Notre Dame Law School. He received a full tuition scholarship, which at the time was $750, if you can believe it. He ended up being #1 in his class at the end of his first year, and while to this day he remains a huge Notre Dame fan, go Irish! It was really cold back then, and at the time there were no women on campus, so he returned to Los Angeles and finished his legal education at USC, which we don't hold against him. It was fortunate for me and my siblings that he did this, as it gave him an opportunity to return to India with Project India in 1957 as a student advisor. While on the trip, he met my mother, Marguerite Chicky Hine, who was one of the student members of the trip, and they were married the very next year in Los Angeles. Immediately after law school, my dad accepted a fellowship program up in Sacramento and worked for the California State Assembly. After receiving an up-close view of the inner workings of the political process, he decided a career in politics was not for him. He then returned with my mom back to Los Angeles, where they started a family. My dad served as a deputy district attorney and later became a partner at Bodkin, Breslin, and Letty, a local law firm. He got involved in bar activities and became chairman of the Junior Barristers, which is a young lawyers group for Los Angeles County Bar Association.
In 1972, my dad was appointed to the Los Angeles Superior Court by Ronald Reagan, the governor of California at the time. He was one of several Democrats appointed by Reagan to the bench. During my dad's 20-year tenure as a judge, he played a prominent leadership role with the court. At his request, he held many different judicial assignments over the years: criminal, civil, probate, juvenile, dependency, adoptions, family law, and mental health. He also had part-time assignments in law in motion and writs and receivers. He presided over the juvenile court for 3 years, and he was a presiding judge of the entire Los Angeles Superior Court for another 3. As a judge and a leader in the administration of the court, he was known for being fair and for his understanding of the stakes involved. His genuine interest in people and his willingness to listen carefully set him apart.
In 1992, my dad retired from the bench after 20 years. Then, largely in order to be able to foot the bill for colleges and graduate schools, and because he genuinely loved working as a judge, he went into private practice as a private judge. For the next 23 years as a rented judge, Skip handled a wide variety of matters, including some high-profile cases and celebrity divorces. In 1993, at the request of Cardinal Mahoney, my father volunteered to help revise the archdiocesan policy on sexual misconduct by clergy. He served on the initial review board that was established, and then, after the priest abuse scandal broke out in Boston in 2002, he assisted in drafting the charter of the Clergy Misconduct Oversight Board and served as the board's first chair. In the end, my dad's most proud accomplishment is being my mom's partner in raising the 6 of us. He was an only child himself, and so raising a big family took some getting used to. All 6 of us turned out to be lawyers, and 4 of us married lawyers. We have given my parents 18 grandchildren, and we all live locally. We feel extremely lucky that we have always been my father's top priority. My dad's firm belief in the rule of law, his profound sense of fairness, and his sense of humor have set a powerful example for all of us. Thank you, Dad.